Hey everyone, this is Uthris and welcome back to Let's Build Lothloria, episode 19. So, last episode we built the church, and I went ahead off camera, made a minor modification to it. I didn't like the original profile of the roof, and so what I did was I made the back end of it match the front end. It's just this one's, curved. And I think it turned out fairly well. I think it was just, it almost looked like it had a tail, I want to say. It just looked a little off. So that's been fixed. I like the new overall profile of it. Yeah, I think it's a very nice and strong, sturdy building, which those type of buildings usually were. So in this episode, we're gonna go ahead and add a new profession to the town, and that would be the apothecary. And I went ahead and finished carving some landscape to make the hills kind of a little bit more flushed and lay the foundation for the apothecary. So this main building would be where they would live and work. It's just going to be a single story hut, and then there's these dirt planters around. I wish there were some foliage that I can put in them. Maybe that'll be a cool decorative block later on. Maybe, it would almost be cool to place ferns in them at this point, and some of these little bushes. If those become a placeable block or decoration, that'd be a wonderful feature. Or have the power to remove them, whichever. So we'll go ahead and just build this small little structure here. I actually need to set up my hotbar. I was doing some things off camera and ended up ruining it. So, normal entryway, I think. And we're going to have 3 rooms. Let's go ahead and put some windows. In there, and there. That looks okay. Put up some walls. It is a stone structure. It is a kind of a nicer serving profession to have in the town. So I think the citizens decided to build a nicer home. So I think that's the general floor plan at the moment. It'll kind of wrap in onto itself. And then out to here. Back here. Wish there was something I could do in terms of an alchemist table or some knickknacks like that. I don't think we really have the object tool set to do anything with that. So we'll go ahead and just make this place look very open with a bunch of windows. Let in a bunch of light so they can see them work. They can check on their plants, make sure no one's stealing them while they're working, because they would be very valuable, I'm sure. So let's see. And then we'll go ahead and I'm not sure if I want to make this a well or just another plain planter, but I figure, we have a well up on this level, up there, and then a well down here, and also a well in the center of town. It would be nice for the herbalists to have their own well. I'm sure watering the plants, carrying that water that far might get a little bit tedious every day or so, so I may need to make that a well. I'm just not 100% sure if I like that idea or not yet. So let's go ahead. I think I'm gonna break the mold on this one compared to everything else around here, and we'll put a red roof on it. I know it's totally against our values, but sometimes you just gotta do what feels right. Go ahead and put some some more roofing tiles on my bar here. Yeah. And plus, this area will need a cone, a red cone anyways. So I just didn't want to mix that kind of cone with anything that would make it look a little weird. So, let's see. Looks like we need structure there. There. An angle. It's funny how, you know, you build so many of these types of structures. Knowing where the walls are needed and the supports for the roof just kind of comes naturally at this point. So it's pretty nice, I think, to be very confident in that sense. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. I think that'll make it look a little interesting. So over here, it needs to have one of these. Type of things. And a concave part on both sides. That and there. Go ahead and make the peak. That looks okay. So it looks like a nice little cottage. And then put the cone. Now what you can do that would be pretty interesting with the cone is I did this on the castle. So you need this top part to wrap around. And the best thing to do sometimes is actually just place a piece of the cone there. I think, yes, you can. Come on. I think I can delete the lower part and then copy the upper. Copy the upper part like that, and use that to actually finish off the top part of the cone. That way it doesn't clip through too much. Maybe, I wonder, can I flip this upside down when I copy it? I can, but it doesn't really fit the angle that I'm looking for. Would that look good? No. That? Nope. Sometimes you can. So there's a couple ways I can handle this. I can come in here, make it a low roof, and put a wooden floor here. That way you can cover up the ugly ceiling and actually wrap the whole cone all the way around. Or go ahead and build a custom kind of wooden connector, which I think is what I want to do. I want to make that space look very large and maybe have plenty of overhang for some kind of, maybe like, I don't know, like places to hang an herb, I think is what I'm looking for. Rafters, something like that. No, I don't think that angle is just so steep. I don't think it's gonna work. So I'll go ahead, remove that. We'll just pop that in there, like so. there you have it. It's a nice little apothecary. And this was a pretty short video because there's not too many details I can throw in there just yet. So tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and lay some groundwork for another building, and I'll go ahead and cut back to that when we're working on that. Okay guys, you might be wondering what this strange shape of a building this is. This is going to be the brothel of the town. I figured this would be a good spot for it. I would have put it down in the slums, but you wouldn't really catch high class, mid class people walking down there too much. So I figured I would kind of tuck it in between the high class and mid class, but by the entrance. And it's almost kind of disguised at that point. It looks like housing, normal housing, but it's definitely not. So we'll go ahead and just work on this a little bit. I've already laid out most of it. It's kind of a tight fit, but I think it works for the most part. Let's see. So there's going to be multiple small bedrooms, and there is a main office area down here where they would actually be allowed in, choose the product they wish, go on upstairs. There's room here, and then you can also take a staircase around and over the little alleyway, which is probably the main reason I love this building so far, is that it's built over one of the connecting alleyways through the tiers. So I think it's gonna work very nice in this area and kind of bring some more depth. Yeah. So there'll be probably, yeah, there'll be a couple rooms down there. You'll have to excuse me going through the menus a lot on this part, but I didn't really plan to build anything besides the herbalist, but it turns out that went fairly quick. So this is what we're getting at the moment. Go ahead and plop all these walls down so I can see the shape that we're getting. And it even has this little out in the open bridge that I really like. We'll go into there. It is pretty boxy, but it's going to have a little bit of ornamentation. So it's going to have these flutes on all sides. Just going to make it look a little bit more 3D than just a giant square. We'll go ahead and do the lower part down here. And obviously we can fit one more room here. Okay, so it's pretty tight, confined, but let's count the bedrooms here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, occupancy of 5 at the moment. I may even try and work at this foundation. This foundation was already there. It'd be nice to work this in. Almost do kind of larger rooms attached to it, but that's something off camera, I think, and maybe later if you guys like that idea. But I really like how the entrance is here. It's probably my absolute favorite. So I'll be right back as soon as this is done, and I'll show you the final product. Alright, this is what we finished with. And we'll go ahead and inside. I only just put the beds in the bedroom, really. Again, office. Wrap it around. And up and across the alleyway. Get a feel of how big the area is. That actually lets in a fair amount of light, which is something nice. So, you know, it's just a nice, interesting building. It is a lot of stonework, but that's okay. I don't have too many buildings like this, so it's okay to have one every now and then. You can just kind of pop out on the alleyway and go home. So there you go. We have a brothel, and then the apothecary over there. And that'll do it for episode 19. And if you guys feel like subscribing or give me a comment on what you would like to see next, go ahead and do that. Thanks.